critical race theory, capitalists, rich CEOs, and more. What is US wokeness really all about? The author of that piece is the very well-known and very well-respected Victor Davis Hanson, who joins us now. Would it be true to say that the woke folk now run America's major corporations, America's media, and America's colleges? Would it be true to say that they have that power and impact?
Yes, and I would add Wall Street, academia, K through 12, Hollywood, entertainment, professional sports, social media. Yeah.
You made your point. They dominate. Now, what's the impact of that domination?
It's hard to say, but I think that they feel that it's sort of woke insurance that they take out, they being the people that run these institutions, and that it serves as either cover for them or it's a reason why they're becoming mediocre. I don't know which, but I got on a flight the other day, Stuart, and it went 180 miles in the wrong direction because it had no fuel, American Airlines. And I just noticed while I was on the flight that Mr. Parker, the American Airlines CEO, had weighed in on the Texas voting law and said it was illiberal. And of course, he had admitted he'd never read it. 2 days before, my assistant and I tried to call Delta to clear up a billing mistake. It took 7 hours to get onto their consumer line. I noticed that Mr. Bastian, that CEO, compensated at $17 million a year, had weighed in on the Georgia. And then I noticed a pattern that General Milley is going through the ranks to audit supposed alt-right suspects and recommending various radical books on his recommended reading list. But I don't remember we had such an inspired strategy in Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, and I'm wondering whether it was cost effective to buy the F-35 or the littoral ships that are in doubt. So I think a lot of the problem that we're having are these CEOs or these college presidents that can't turn out people that can read and write and think analytically, or either diverting their time to sort of a commissar system where they internally audit everybody and everybody's looking over their back, or they use this to deflect criticism from a job that by any accounts is pretty mediocrely done.
That's a pretty full list there, Victor. My question is, where's the pushback going to come from? I mean, this wokeness is not wildly popular in many, many parts of America. So where's the pushback? Where will it come from? Will we have to just vote this thing out?
Yeah. I think it has to come from the people that tolerated it or contextualized it or appeased it. I think people in Portland and the suburbs now that voted for this sort of stuff can't go into their own downtown, and they're worried. I think when stockholders start to see that their companies are making decisions not on market realities, but on fear of being accused of being illiberal, and that doesn't turn out very well for the bottom line, they'll start to object. I think when people get in planes and it's happening and they go in the wrong direction in search of gasoline, and I hadn't had that happen to me since 15 years ago in Mexico, then I think they're going to tell the CEOs, you put your mind on the business and not on this other stuff. So it's starting to affect the fabric of the United States, and every aspect, whether it's the open border or crime or inflation, people are saying all of these best and brightest people are supposed to be in charge, but they're diverting their attention, or they're worried about covering their rear end, and they're not paying attention to what affects us. And now we are being affected. When Barbara Boxer is mugged in downtown Oakland, she might say to the Oakland mayor, start worrying about crime rather than appropriating Oakland municipal funds on the basis of race. So I think that has to come from them, because the conservative and independent side are already seeing what's going on and they're opposed to it, as you say. And all of these issues do not warrant 51% in the polls. Open borders, inflation, critical race theory, defund the police. They have no popular support. It's a top-down elite revolution. And it's not a grassroots up revolution.
Victor Davis Hanson, thank you very much for your analysis.